Beneath the calm glow of our familiar daylight lies a truth as old as the stars themselves. Our sun is mortal. For billions of years, it has poured life across our planet, igniting the first stirrings of biology, painting skies in gold, and cradling the evolution of everything we know. Yet even the mightiest stars burn with borrowed time. Deep in its core, the sun's fire is slowly transforming, consuming the fuel that has kept it alive since the dawn of our solar system. One day, its steady warmth will give way to a final, feverish blaze, swelling into a red giant that could strip Earth of its oceans, scorch its soil, and end the world we call home. But the death of a star is not just an ending. It is a transformation written in the language of the cosmos, a force that forges beauty and destruction in equal measure. The question that remains is not if the sun will die, but whether humanity will stand to witness its last light or survive beyond it. Tonight, we journey into that distant future to see what awaits when our star's final chapter begins. Far beyond the familiar blue of our skies, a slow and inevitable clock is ticking. Our sun, the life giver, burns with the same brilliance that has nurtured Earth for over 4 billion years. Yet every star has a limit, and ours is no exception. One day, its golden light will falter, its warmth will fade, and the sky that cradles our days will belong to a dying sun. The question that lingers in the quiet corners of thought is not if, but when, and whether humanity will be there to see it. From a distance, our sun may seem eternal, its cycles of dawn and dusk as dependable as the tides. But stars are not unending fires. They are colossal furnaces running on a finite store of fuel. In its heart, hydrogen is fused into helium at unimaginable temperatures, a process so fierce that every second releases more energy than all of Earth's nuclear weapons combined. This is the delicate balance that has kept our world alive, but it is also a slow countdown toward transformation. In the far future, billions of years hence, the sun's steady rhythm will shift. Its heart will grow hotter, its outer layers will swell, and the familiar yellow disk will bloat into a red giant. Its expanding edge may one day swallow Mercury and Venus, and perhaps even graze Earth's orbit. Oceans will boil, skies will sear, and the cradle of our species will be rendered unrecognizable. But long before that final act, life here will already face the consequences of its aging star. Long before the sun becomes a monstrous red giant, subtle but relentless changes will begin to unfold. Over the next few 100 million years, its brightness will slowly increase, flooding Earth with more energy than our delicate balance can bear. The extra heat will tip the scales of climate, driving the evaporation of oceans and stripping away the protective blanket of our atmosphere. Without water to regulate temperatures or shield against radiation, Earth's surface will transform into a desolate, scorched plain, eerily similar to the barren worlds we now see through our telescopes. These shifts will not be sudden catastrophes, but gradual tightening screws, nature's slow and patient dismantling of our habitable world. Plants will struggle first, their delicate cycles broken by unrelenting heat. Animal life, dependent on those green foundations, will dwindle in turn. Humanity, if still present, will face a stark choice: adapt in ways beyond imagination, or leave the only home we have ever known. This will not be a battle of days or decades, but of deep time, a survival game written in the language of astronomy. Yet, we are not without foresight. Our understanding of stellar evolution gives us centuries, even millennia, to prepare for the inevitable. The same scientific curiosity that once placed our footprints on the moon could drive us to craft new homes among the stars. The death of our sun is not merely an ending. It is a cosmic summons, urging us to decide whether humanity's story will be bound to Earth or written across the heavens. To grasp the scale of what awaits, we must journey into the heart of the sun itself, a realm of crushing pressure and blistering heat. Here, in a core hotter than 15 million degrees Celsius, atomic nuclei are forced so close together that they merge, releasing staggering amounts of energy. This process, nuclear fusion, is the very engine of starlight, but it cannot last forever. As hydrogen runs low, the sun's core will contract, growing hotter still, igniting helium in a far more violent, unstable phase of its life. When helium fusion begins, the sun's outer layers will respond with a swelling fury, expanding hundreds of times beyond their current reach. The once gentle sunlight will turn a deep blood-red hue, casting Earth, if it survives, under an alien sky. The sun's gravity will weaken at its swollen edges, and great waves of stellar wind will strip material from its surface, sending billions of tons of matter streaming into space. This is how stars die, not with silence, but with a slow, furious unraveling. Such transformations are written into the laws of physics themselves, unaltered since the birth of the universe. For us, this knowledge is both a warning and a gift. It tells us what must come to pass, but also when. It gives us the clarity to see the stakes. Survival will depend not on stopping the sun's transformation, which no force could do, but on mastering the art of moving beyond its reach. In the sun's red giant phase, the solar system itself will be reshaped. Mercury and Venus will almost certainly be consumed, their orbits swallowed by the star's swelling edge. Earth's fate is more uncertain. Some models suggest it may be engulfed, while others predict it could drift outward as the sun loses mass. But even survival by distance would be no mercy. The heat will be so intense that rocks will glow, metals will soften, and the crust itself could fracture under the relentless expansion of molten stone. The planet will remain, but it will no longer be a cradle for life. Farther out, the frozen worlds we know today may awaken. Jupiter's icy moons, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, will thaw, revealing vast oceans beneath their cracked shells. Saturn's moon Enceladus, famous for its geysers, could transform into a water world beneath a dim red sun. In this strange, inverted solar system, the outer planets may briefly host the conditions Earth once enjoyed. But this borrowed habitability will be fleeting, a warm glow on the path to the final darkness, and beyond even that lies the sun's last act. As it burns through its final helium reserves, it will shed its outer layers into space, creating a vast, colorful cloud called a planetary nebula. At its center, all that remains will be a white dwarf, a dense, Earth-sized ember containing the sun's core. No longer a life-giver, it will fade slowly into the cold silence of eternity, leaving behind the echo of a star that once lit the human story. If humanity is to endure beyond this cosmic reckoning, our survival will hinge on foresight and engineering of unprecedented scale. The simplest, yet most daunting solution is migration, leaving Earth long before the sun's fury begins its irreversible rise. This could mean building vast fleets of generation ships to carry our descendants to other stars, each vessel a self-contained world sustaining life for centuries in transit. Such journeys would not be measured in human lifetimes, but in epochs, demanding patience and resilience unlike anything we have ever known. Alternatively, some visions imagine reshaping entire planets to suit our needs. Mars, with its cold deserts and thin air, could be coaxed into warmth and habitability, offering a nearer refuge as Earth declines. Even more ambitious ideas propose constructing colossal artificial habitats, rotating space cities that generate their own gravity and sunlight, free to orbit any star or drift through the galaxy. Here, humanity would no longer be tied to the fate of a single world, but would live as a spacefaring civilization, adapting to the rhythms of the cosmos itself. Yet the greatest challenge may not be technological. It may be psychological. For hundreds of thousands of years, our story has been written under the same familiar sun. To leave it behind would be to sever the oldest bond our species has ever known. In the cold light of distant stars, we would carry more than just our bodies. We would carry the memory of a golden sun that once rose over oceans, forests, and the first beating hearts of humankind. Some scientists envision solutions that would keep Earth within the sun's habitable zone for far longer, a feat requiring mastery over planetary-scale engineering. One concept, known as stellar drifting, imagines nudging our planet outward, slowly, increasing its orbit over millions of years. This could be done by redirecting the paths of massive asteroids, using their gravitational influence to tug Earth farther from the growing heat. It is a delicate cosmic dance where a single miscalculation could spell disaster, but in theory, it could grant our world a reprieve of hundreds of millions of years. Others imagine shielding Earth rather than moving it. A vast network of orbital mirrors or sunshades stationed between our planet and the sun could filter just enough light to maintain a livable climate. These artificial shadows, larger than continents, would drift in perfect formation, adjusting as the sun grows brighter. The scale of such a structure would dwarf anything humanity has ever built, a cathedral of engineering that could span millions of square kilometers in the silent void. But even these grand strategies are only delays, not solutions. The sun's death is certain, and any structure, no matter how vast, will eventually fail against the relentless march of stellar evolution. The choice remains the same: adapt, migrate, or vanish. Every path demands not only technology, but unity, a civilization capable of thinking not just in centuries, but in eons, and willing to act for futures they will never see. If we look beyond our own star, the universe offers both hope and warning. Around us, countless suns are in every stage of life, from newborn stars swaddled in clouds of gas to ancient giants collapsing into embers. Some harbor planets that might cradle life, others exist in desolate silence. The night sky is not just a backdrop, it is a map of possibilities, each point of light a potential refuge or a reminder of how fragile habitability can be. In those distant systems, we may find our next home, or perhaps discover civilizations that faced their own dying suns long before us. The search for such worlds has already begun. Telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope are scanning the heavens for exoplanets in the elusive Goldilocks zones, where temperatures allow liquid water to flow. Some lie within a few dozen light years, a cosmic stone's throw, while others are hundreds or thousands of light years away. Each discovery sharpens our understanding of what it will take to survive. The right conditions, the right distance from a star, and the ability to sustain life for the long arc of time. But even if we find such a haven, the journey there would be unlike anything humanity has attempted. The vast gulf between stars is a chasm measured not in miles, but in years of light itself. Crossing it will require propulsion systems beyond our current grasp, perhaps fusion engines, antimatter drives, or technologies we have yet to imagine. The death of our sun may one day force us to take that leap, to transform from stargazers into starfarers, carrying the essence of Earth to a new sunrise under an alien sky. The thought of leaving our sun behind invites a deeper question. Will we still be the same humanity when that day comes? A voyage across the stars would span generations, reshaping culture, language, and even biology. Life aboard colossal starships or on alien worlds would demand adaptations that might make our descendants physically different from us, better suited to new environments, but perhaps strangers to the Earth that birthed them. The story of our species would splinter into many threads, each woven under the light of a different sun. Such change is not without precedent. Humanity has always been shaped by the environments it inhabits. Our ancestors adapted to ice ages, deserts, and jungles, carrying their ingenuity into every new frontier. But the leap to interstellar life would be a transformation on an entirely different scale. No ocean waves, no familiar constellations, no rising and setting of our own sun. In its place, alien landscapes, unfamiliar skies, and a sense of time and space unmoored from Earth's rhythms. Survival would mean embracing the unknown as home. And yet, even across that vast divide, something unbreakable would remain. Whether under red suns, blue giants, or the pale glow of distant dwarfs, we would still tell stories of the world where it began. The warm light on green fields, the whisper of wind through forests, the golden dawns over ancient seas. The death of our sun would not end humanity's light. It would spread it across the cosmos, each new world carrying a spark of the one we left behind. In the far future, when our sun has long faded into a cold, dim ember, Earth will be silent, a monument to a life that once flourished under its light. Oceans will be dust, mountains worn to shadows, and the skies empty of the golden warmth that once nurtured us. Yet somewhere, perhaps orbiting a distant star or drifting through interstellar night, humanity, or what we have become, may still endure. Our survival would be proof that life can outlast the death of its parent star, carrying its legacy far beyond the reach of its beginning. The death of our sun is a certainty, written in the language of physics since the dawn of time. But certainty is not the same as fate. What we choose to do with the time we have will decide whether our story ends beneath a dying sky or continues across the uncharted oceans of space. In this way, the sun's slow decline is not only a warning, it is an invitation to dream bigger, to think in scales as vast as the universe itself. And so, as you look up tonight, know that every sunrise is a gift borrowed from the ticking heart of a star. One day, that gift will end. But if we act with vision, courage, and unity, the light of our species need never fade. For the sun's death will not be the end of our journey. It will be the moment we truly begin to walk among the stars.